Let us be very quiet for a moment, very simple, almost childlike, and let us agree together that in this room no one is being judged. You are not being measured for good or evil, for success or failure. You are being released into an atmosphere of rest, and at the same time we shall keep our feet very much on the ground. Why should we keep our feet on the ground? Because the Word must become flesh. It will not be enough for us to float away on a beautiful idea and then return to a quarrel at the checkout, a panic over a missing object, or a mouth that speaks before wisdom has arrived. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. That is our standard, our proof. Not that we had a lovely thought, but that the presence translates as visible harmony in ordinary affairs. We are not speaking of two different worlds, a spiritual one to be admired in a meeting like this, and a human one to be endured when we go home, but two concepts of the same universe. One concept judges by appearances. The other yields to the invisible that governs appearances. And so it is, the proof of our realization is found at the places where we would least expect to be spiritual. At an overcharged register, in the frantic search for a lost item, at a tense meeting where personalities line up as if for combat. If truth cannot govern there, it has not yet come to life in us. If we can chant verses and then wage war at the counter, we have not yet paused long enough to let the Father within go before us to make the crooked places straight. Here is the simple hook, the plain way, and you may prove it. Pause first. Before you speak, before you hurry, before you defend yourself or demand your due, pause. Consent to the presence. Be still and know that I am God. I, my own self, can do nothing. That is not piety. That is protocol. We do not manipulate the scene. We do not pray up a result. We do not clutch at a method. We yield to the life that forever flows. Take no thought for your life, said the Master, and it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Our part is consent. Stop short, turn within, listen. Watch life rearrange itself around that consent. Watch the invisible become the tangible, not through magic, not through human force, but as the natural form of the presence that is already here. We will not in this hour travel to some dreamy elsewhere to secure our good. Living in a dream world apart from groceries and meetings would be no proof at all of God's government in daily experience. The test, if you need such a word, is whether the same grace that lifts your heart in quiet also balances your accounts, finds what is needed without strain, and places the right words upon your tongue in the very hour you need them. Why callest thou me good? The Master said. None is good save one, that is, God. Good is not in the coin, nor in the clerk, nor in the schedule. Good is in the presence that animates, illumines, and arranges all things when we do not interfere. So we begin by creating together an atmosphere of no judgment. You owe me nothing, I owe you nothing. Love owes everything to itself. We will behold each other as person without qualities, neither good nor evil, not the mask of yesterday's habit or tomorrow's promise, but the living Son of the living God. I and the Father are one, and therefore so are you. When we look out from that knowing, forms take on their proper place, not a source, but a sign, not a power, but a servant. In the minutes ahead, I will offer you 3 everyday miracles, not to dazzle you, but to anchor this in your kitchen, your store, your office, a money mix-up at the checkout that refuses contention and finds reconciliation, a lost item that, without anxious searching, returns or is replaced in perfect time, a tense meeting in which personality yields and the words are given you in the hour. These are not unusual. They are ordinary when we pause first. They are the flesh of the Word. They are the quiet evidence that when we take no thought, When we consent, and behold, the presence goes before us, and the visible rearranges itself to declare what has always been invisibly true. Let us begin here in this stillness and keep our feet on the ground. Now, the way of this is very simple, and because it is simple, you can use it at a cash register, in your kitchen, on a sidewalk. Pause first. Stop short. Before the tongue moves, before the hand reaches, before the mind rushes to tally and defend, stop. Withdraw judgment from the scene, neither good nor evil, and turn within. Be still and know that I am God. Not I the personality, not I the clever one, not I the hurt or the hurried, but I the presence appearing as you. I can of mine own self do nothing, said the Master, and we are safe only as we agree with him. Let the presence go before you to make the crooked places straight. Let what Scripture calls the angel of the Lord go on ahead of your feet and your words, and you will find you were never meant to live by reaction, but by revelation. You ask, how do I do this in a hallway, at a counter, with someone waiting? In a very natural way, take 3 relaxed breaths, no ceremony, just a soft drawing in and a gentle release, 3 times. Let the shoulders soften, the jaw unhook, the eyes rest. Then lower your attention, not to a spot in anatomy, but to the inner chamber of your own being, the heart, if you like that word, where the sense of I is most quiet. In that stillness, offer the simplest consent. Here I am. Or if Scripture rises, let it rise. Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. Do not try to think a holy thought. Do not strain to feel a thrill. Consent. And in that consent, wait a breath or two. Often you will discover there comes a release, a softening, an untying on the inside, and you will know that the presence has taken the lead. Sometimes you do not feel a thing, and yet you have consented, and that is enough. This is not positive thinking. This is not the mind trying to push a favorable picture against an unfavorable picture. We do not hypnotize ourselves into cheerfulness, nor do we try to hypnotize the clerk into agreement. We do not attempt to send thoughts into a situation as if thoughts were projectiles and people were targets. And we certainly do not impose our will upon the scene as if human determination were God. No, we take no thought for the issue. We release the issue. We open the gate and stand aside while the river of life goes where it will. To repeat it, I of my own self do nothing. The Father within me, he doeth the works. If you must have a picture, let it be this. You are a doorway, not an engine. The function of a doorway is to be open. How will you measure whether you have done it right? Not by results at once. Results are like the blossom. Consciousness is the root. You measure by peace first. The peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds. If the register still seems tangled for a moment, but there is peace, you have succeeded. If the lost thing has not yet appeared, but anxiety has let go its grip, you have succeeded. Fruitage follows consciousness, and when peace leads, forms will, in their own order, declare that leadership. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Seek the presence, not the outcome, and let the outcome be found already governed. Practice this as you would breathing itself in little moments, many times a day. Before you enter a room, stop short. Before you answer a text, before you correct a mistake, before you place a call, pause. 3 soft breaths. Here I am. Wait 1 heartbeat beyond your habit, and notice whether there comes a word or a silence or an impulse to do nothing for now. If a word is needed, it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. If a step is required, you will find your foot already moving in that direction, And if in that instant you are to stand still, you will discover the stillness has become your shield and your guide. So it is. This is not a trick for emergencies only. It is a way of being in the world while not being of it. It is the manner in which the Word is permitted to walk ahead of your words and the presence to order your steps. Pause first and let the inner presence precede every word and act. Make that your protocol, your habit, your quiet, yes. Then watch, not with strain but with gratitude, as the invisible governance shows on the screen of daily life, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but always in proportion as we consent. And therefore we move into our affairs unhurried, judgment withdrawn, doorway open, and the assurance of Scripture in our hearts. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. Now let us take the next simple step, which is to withdraw our labels from the visible. Money is neither good nor evil. A schedule is neither good nor evil. A diagnosis, a delay, a downpour, neither good nor evil. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. In other words, do not attach your praise or your fear to the form. Do not load the coin with your hope, nor the bill with your dread. Do not call a sunny day your salvation, or a rainy day your ruin. These things are not the good. They are not the source. They are signs at best, symbols, tools, scenery upon which the real drama, God's presence as your very life, shines through when you let it. In what sense are they not good? In the sense that good is invisible to human sense. The Master would not accept even the name of good for his human appearance. Why callest thou me good? None is good save one, that is God. When he stood there in sandals and garment, the good was not in the cloth or in the skin. The good was the life that was the Father within him. So it is with a vase of orchids. Beautiful, yes. But the beauty is not goodness itself. It is the fragrance of an unseen life. So it is with a finely woven rug, a shining automobile, a full pantry, an empty pantry. They are not powers. They are servants when the presence governs, and tyrants when we worship them. Try the list and feel the release as you say it inwardly. This is neither good nor evil. This is a dollar bill, a piece of paper, a symbol of exchange. This is an email, a string of characters on a screen. This is a calendar page, ink on paper, a set of imagined squares. This is a crowded train car, metal, motion, bodies appearing and disappearing. This is a doctor's report, words about patterns in the body. This is a thundercloud, a moving painting in the sky. Good is not in them. Good is invisible to the senses, yet nearer than the breath, the love and life that animates all without being confined by any. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth, not up in the air, but above in consciousness, above judgment, above fear, above the fiction. That form is source. When you re-anchor value this way, fear and grasping begin to let go. If the register shows the wrong number, you have not lost your good. If the wallet is thin, you have not been cut off from supply. If the appointment moves or the train is late, you have not been pushed out of God's timing. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Take no thought. Why? Because the presence that is your very being is not threatened by fluctuations of form. When judgment is released, the scene is freed from your interference and can be governed. The bill can be corrected without battle. The lost thing can return, or its need can be met another way. The cloud can pass or bring needed rain. Perfect love casteth out fear, and with fear goes the compulsion to clutch, to accuse, to hurry. In that space, harmony appears. So here is the gentle experiment you may make a dozen times a day. When an object, a sum, an email, a face rises before you, silently say, neither good nor evil, Behold it as a thing without power, and in the same breath behold the presence as all power. Be still and know that I am God. If a phrase rises, let it be this: Father, glorify thy name in this. Not fix my picture, but glorify thyself. Watch how the shoulders drop, the breath deepens, the inner door swings on open hinges. In that atmosphere, the angels go before you, the functions of your own awakened consciousness, making the crooked places straight, turning numbers into honest numbers, schedules into right timing, rooms into sanctuaries. We do not love less the beautiful rug or the helpful tool. We love them rightly as effects, not causes. And in loving rightly, we find our hands free, our hearts quiet, and our affairs subject to an order that does not come and go with the weather. Now let us bring the same seeing to the highest and the nearest of forms to persons. Persona means mask. In the old theaters, they held a carved face in front of their own, and through its mouth the voice sounded persona. Every one of us has learned to wear a mask, clever or dull, generous or tight-fisted, efficient or slow, agreeable or prickly. Those are qualities. They come and go like costumes, and they are neither good nor evil. The self that you are, the self that your neighbor is not a quality. I and my Father are one. That is identity. All that the Father hath is mine. That is identity. Christ in you, the hope of glory. That is identity. If we will behold one another at that level, the channel opens and the presence acts through everyone involved. Try it where it seems least likely. The clerk who appears impatient, the boss who appears overbearing, the family member who appears forgetful. Withdraw your label and lay down your verdict. Do it silently. Do it with love, neither good nor evil. This is a person without qualities. This is the life of God appearing as this one. Henceforth know we no man after the flesh. You are not called upon to reform a temperament or to stroke an ego. You are called to behold, and behold with the same spirit you heard from the Master to the accused woman, neither do I condemn thee, not praising, not blaming, releasing. In that atmosphere, true identity breathes. You may ask, does this mean I ignore bad behavior? No, we are not asked to be blind. We are asked to see rightly. We do not pretend that rudeness is courtesy. We refuse to accept rudeness as identity. We do not enthrone charm as virtue. We refuse to let charm hypnotize us into worshiping a personality. Why callest thou me good? None is good, save one, that is, God. Praise can be as binding as blame, because it fixes a mask in place and makes the wearer fearful of losing it. Love does not need your flattery, and your neighbor does not need your verdict. Love needs only a clear window through which it can behold itself. Make a little list in your mind as you go through your day and feel the freedom as you say it. This is neither good nor evil. This is not a difficult boss. This is God's beloved seen through a tangle of habit. This is not a careless child. This is innocence itself, forgetting for a moment its own light. This is not a rude clerk. This is the Christ, my very self, unrecognized by me until now. And because God is no respecter of persons, because the presence does not prefer one mask to another, you need not prefer one or resent another. You stand in the middle without judgment, and the scene is free to be governed. I have watched, and you will watch, what happens in that instant. When we stop beholding qualities, people often slip free of them. The voice that was harsh finds a quieter register without your argument. The man who never listens hears a sentence he needs and thanks you without knowing why. The teenager, labeled defiant, drops his shoulders. He is no longer holding up a mask against your condemnation. The very same soul who 20 minutes ago seemed set against you is suddenly your ally, not because you won a point, but because you stepped out of the arena and let the presence go before you. This is not suggestion. It is non-judgment. It is not will. It is willingness. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment, which is to say, with the eyes of the heart. Practice now, and in the places that usually provoke reaction. Before you answer the email, before you step into your supervisor's doorway, before you call your sister back, pause. 3 soft breaths. Here I am. And then behold, person without quality. If words are required, it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. And the tone will not come from your pride or your fear, but from the one life speaking to itself. If no words are required, your silence will be a healing presence, and it will do more than your best speech could have done. Beholding in this way is not a technique for managing people. It is a way of honoring God. What you honor governs you. If you honor the mask, you will live by masks, yours and theirs. If you honor the Christ, you will live by Christ, yours and theirs. And so it is that at a register, in an office, around a table, we create an atmosphere where no one is praised for their performance and no one is condemned for their lapse. In that atmosphere, identity is remembered. The angels of your awakened consciousness go before you, making the crooked places straight, not only in numbers and schedules, but in faces. And when the mask drops, you will see your neighbor as you would be seen, the living Son of the living God. Then the Word is ready to become flesh through both of you. Let us place ourselves very simply at a checkout. The cart is light. You have chosen only what was needed. The beep of the scanner, the small talk, the shuffle of a bag, ordinary sounds. Then up on the screen appears a number that does not belong to your purchase, a charge twice for the same item, a discount that did not register, a total a little higher than the tally in your head. Behind you, a small line has formed. Someone sighs. The clerk looks tired. The tape spits its symbols. Immediately, something in us is on its feet. The inner lawyer, the little accountant, the protector of pennies and pride, ready to argue, ready to correct, ready to defend your right. The breath tightens, the jaw sets, the tongue prepares its case. Do you know that moment? Everyone does. And in that very moment, because we are lovers of the Word, we will try an entirely different government. Stop short. Before one syllable leaps past your teeth, halt inwardly, as if you had come to a holy threshold. 3 soft breaths. Here I am. Not in a display of piety, not with eyes rolled heavenward in a sermon for the clerk, but in the simplest consent. Be still and know that I am God. I can of mine own self do nothing. Let that be the order of the scene. Money is neither good nor evil. Numbers on a screen are neither good nor evil. This receipt is not your supply. This register is not your source. All that the Father hath is mine. Supply is the presence right here, appearing as what is needed, including the intelligence of this moment and the kindness that makes it easy. In that pause, release the hurry, release the fear that you will be made a fool or made to pay more than is right. Release the picture of yourself as the vigilant guardian of your small kingdom. We are not careless, we are careful to let the presence go before us. Now, lift your eyes to the one before you and behold, person without qualities, not a good clerk or a bad clerk, not a careful one or a careless one, neither good nor evil. This is the life of God at a register, masked today as this face, these hands, this name tag. Henceforth know we no man after the flesh. If there has been a mistake, it is a mistaken number. not a wicked heart. If there is a delay, it is a minute on a clock, not a personal insult. Neither do I condemn thee. Let that atmosphere be your gift. Release this one from your verdict and from your need to praise. If they fix it, for praise also binds a mask to a face. Simply behold, and in that beholding feel your own face soften. The presence has room to act only where judgment has been withdrawn. As you stand in that consenting quiet, inquire without strain, what now? If words are required, let them be given you in that hour, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. Maybe it is as simple as, would you check that line, please, with no edge, no performance, no lecturing tone. Maybe it is nothing at all, only a smile and a patient pause while the screen refreshes or a supervisor walks over. Maybe it is an inner nudge to step aside and let the line pass while the matter is sorted. No defeat in it, no loss, only the presence ordering steps. The form of the word is not your concern, the spirit of it is. The line behind you is not your judge. Peace is your measure. The peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds. If that peace rises, you have already succeeded, even before a single digit changes. Practice saying inwardly, and feel what loosens in you as you say it. This is neither good nor evil. This is a screen with figures. This is a paper receipt. This is a human voice, wavering or steady. This is a beeping light at a counter. Good is not in them. Good is the presence invisible to sense. And it is here, Father, glorify thy name in this. Not prove me right, not shame the clerk, not reward my thrift, but glorify thyself. In that prayer there is no contest. There is only a doorway, and you are that doorway. Stand open. You may notice that the body cooperates with this worship. The shoulders drop, the breath deepens, the face lets go of its little war, the mind stops rehearsing the sharp sentence it was sure it would need. The atmosphere, yours, and therefore the room's, shifts from tension to a kind of friendly clarity. You are not trying to get your way. You are consenting to the way. You are not placing your good in the visible. You are letting the invisible govern the visible. Take no thought. Why? Because the one who goes before you, what Scripture calls the angel of the Lord, is already in this aisle, already in this keypad, already in this conversation. Refuse the battle at the register. Choose inward alignment before outward correction. Then, whatever needs to be said or unsaid, done or undone, will come in order, and we shall watch in due course how peace leads the scene to declare its own harmony. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. So it is. And then, almost shyly, because no one is pushing, you will watch the scene take care of itself. The clerk glances up, frowns at nothing in particular, and says, "Oh, one moment," taps a key, and the double charge vanishes before you have spoken a word. Or the total refreshes, and the discount that didn't take settles into place as if it had been there all along. Or a supervisor, who is already walking this way for reasons of her own, arrives and says, "We'll waive that, not as a gift to your clever argument, but as a natural motion in an atmosphere without strain. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight." You did not make it happen. You made room for what was already moving to show itself. If a phrase is required of you, it comes without edge. Would you mind checking that line, please? And it is heard, because it is not a spear. A soft answer turneth away wrath, not as a tactic, but as the way of spirit speaking to itself. You will notice that the tone carries further than a loud demand. The one behind the counter does not brace to defend a mistake or to protect pride. You have not provoked a mask to harden. You have beheld a person without qualities, and in that beholding the person discovers they are free to correct a number without losing face. No one is made wrong. Dignity is preserved on both sides. Neither do I condemn thee is not a sentence, you say. It is the climate you are. Sometimes the reconciliation is quaint, almost playful. You reach for a card and remember you wanted to use cash. And when the drawer opens, the clerk finds a coin they had misplaced and laughs. Well, that balanced out our till from yesterday. Or you put your hand in a pocket you did not think to check and touch exactly the dime that rounds the total. And a stranger behind you smiles and says, "Here, I've got the penny," and presses it into your palm as if that were the most normal sacrament in the world. Or an old store credit you had forgotten appears on the screen and the balance falls into rightness without your arranging it. Your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him. Registers reconcile themselves because consciousness has been reconciled to peace. Notice what is absent. There is no winner and no loser. There is no story to tell about how you manifested a discount or bent the universe to your will. We are not speaking of might or of mental force. Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. We took no thought to add or to subtract. We withdrew our fear and our pride and stood open. The presence went before us, and forms, which are neither good nor evil, took their right place as servants of that presence. You did not get your way. The way got you, and through you touched a counter, a screen, a human heart. There is a sweetness after such an incident, and you will recognize it. The breath is easy. The clerk's thanks is simple, not fawning. Your thanks is simple, not superior. If someone in the line had sighed, they now relax as if a small weather front had passed and the air had cleared. You leave with what is correct, but more than that, you leave with your neighbor unburdened by your judgment and yourself unburdened by your righteousness. The peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds. It has kept this moment, so we draw the lesson quietly and carry it forward. When peace leads, forms align. When the inner consent is given, the outer digits remember their true sum. When you honor the invisible as the only good, the visible gladly does its humble work, number honestly, draws balance, time stretches enough to let kindness have its say. We did not do it. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. To remember that in a checkout line is to practice incarnation. The Word becomes flesh as a corrected receipt, as unruffled faces, as the joy of having let God be God at a register, and so it is. And now another ordinary scene, so ordinary that it happens to saints and skeptics alike. You are at the door with a hand on the knob, and the keys are not in the bowl. You reach for the pocket that always holds them. It is empty. You go to the counter where the ring always sleeps when you wash the dishes. The dish is there, and the ring is not. You glance at the wrist and feel a hollow place where the watch belonged a moment ago, and in that hollow place the mind tries to pour a story. It is gone. I have lost it. What will this cost? And with the story comes a small ache, the ache we have all felt over a little thing that has become for us a symbol of something larger, security, memory, competency, the picture of ourselves as the one who manages life well. The breath shortens, the drawer slams, cushions are pressed, the trash is peered into as if it had decided to swallow treasure, and behind all of it a grief begins to mount that is not about metal or glass at all. Stop short. This is the threshold. And we know it now, neither good nor evil. A ring is neither good nor evil. Keys are neither good nor evil. A watch is not your time. A wallet is not your supply. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. In what sense are they not good? In the sense that good is invisible to sense. Do not load the little object with your safety, and do not load its absence with your fear. The love with which it was given, the usefulness with which it has served, these are effects, not the cause. Why callest thou me good? None is good save one, that is, God. So we would then, as always, the simplest protocol, 3 soft breaths. Here I am. Be still and know that I am God. Not the God of trinkets and timings, but the I that is your very life. I can of mine own self do nothing. I cannot by anxiety find what the presence has not yet chosen to reveal. I cannot by frenzy compel the universe to put a small circle of gold into my hand. I cannot, by scolding myself or another, produce what is already under laws. And therefore I offer consent. If this is needed, let it be revealed. If it is not needed, let me be at peace, and let thy provision appear in whatever form thou wilt. Father, glorify thy name in this, not my possessiveness, not my pride, not my picture of how this hour must be. Your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him. In that consent, notice what loses its hold. The compulsion to ransack the room, the urge to accuse a spouse, a child, the dog, the universe, the old sentence, I always lose things, which is nothing but a mask you do not have to wear. Person without qualities includes you. You are not a careless one, nor a meticulous one. You are the life of God appearing as you. Henceforth know we no man after the flesh, not even this man or woman whose pocket is empty for the moment. Withdraw the verdict. Let identity be sacred and the object be ordinary. Now, wait not in idleness, but in willingness. If an inner nudge comes, it will be simple. Check the coat you wore yesterday. Open the book you set down on the chair. Call the office. Ask if a small set of keys was found. Or do nothing now. Sit down. Drink a glass of water. Go to your next right thing and let the angels go before you the functions of your own awakened consciousness into cushions and cup holders and sidewalks, making the crooked places straight. We are not ignoring the item. We are refusing to enthrone it. Be careful for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto God. And thanksgiving, in this case, is for the peace that leads before a result appears. There is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Take that not as a whip of fate, but as a promise of order. If this object belongs with you, it will find its way in an orderly universe governed by presence. If its work with you is complete, another form will serve, and you will be kept. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Make that your atmosphere now, in the kitchen, by the door, in the corridor, where you stand half-turned with a choice to make, to panic or to praise, to ransack or to rest, to clutch or to consent. Peace first. Let the presence reveal, restore, or replace, without anxiety. Then, as with digits on a register, forms will declare the government you have chosen within, and you will recognize the sweetness of a life that does not depend on finding a small thing to keep a great peace. And so it is. Then, almost as if the room itself exhaled, there comes a thought, not a hunt, not a scheme, just a gentle directive as unnoticed as a bird's shadow on the wall. Check the inside pocket of yesterday's coat. Open the little drawer where you never put them. Look beneath the car seat, not with a pry, but with a glance. Lift the folded towel. Slide your hand into the side pouch of the bag, and there it is quietly where it is, as if it had been waiting for you to be still enough to see. You recognize the atmosphere of it. No triumph. No I found it parade. Only the same presence that silenced the scramble now lets the eye fall upon the ordinary place. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. He leadeth me beside the still waters. You did not manufacture a path. You heard one step. Before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. So it is. Sometimes it is not even your hand that closes on the thing. A child wanders through the room, opens a small palm, and says, "Is this what you were looking for?" A neighbor texts, "Found a key ring on the sidewalk. Looks like yours." The store you left pages you. A watch was turned in and has your initials on the back. Or, more prosaic still, you brush your sleeve and hear the small clink on the floor, and you laugh because you had shaken that very sleeve 5 minutes ago under the government of anxiety. Your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him, not before you ransack, before you ask. The government has shifted from grasping to guidance, and the forms answer to the governor. We do not congratulate a method, we give thanks to the giver. Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. And there are the tender variations in which the object does not return, and yet you are not left without. A spare set appears in the back of the drawer you did not think to open. A locksmith who just happened to be on the block replaces without delay. A colleague offers, unasked, to drive, and the appointment that demanded your punctuality writes a cheerful note to say, "Let's move this to tomorrow." A ring is not found, but a memory loosens its possessive ache and becomes a sweetness without metal. A watch does not reappear, but time keeps precisely enough on the face of your phone, and more than that, you glance at the sky more than at the wrist and are none the poorer for it. Or a friend says, "We have an extra, please take it." And you see how simple generosity is when you are not clutching. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. The adding is not always as the mind pictured it, but it is always kind, always sufficient, and often so effortless that you blush to remember the storm you were about to raise over a little thing. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Want dissolves because government has returned to its rightful place. What then is our thanksgiving? It is not an idol's hymn to a recovered trinket. We do not bow to a ring or to a key as if the good were in the metal. We remember the source and bless the form as servant. We hold it lightly because we were taught, freely ye have received, freely give. If it is found, we bless its use and put it by without superstition. If it is replaced, we bless the one who gave, and if someday another needs it more than we, it will be simple to let it go. And if for a time no object returns, we remain in peace, for the good was never in it. The peace you discovered is not a technique's prize. It is your life remembering its origin. You will notice, too, how identity is protected in this atmosphere. No one is made a culprit. You are not the one who always loses things. You are the life of God appearing as you, learning to listen where once you hurried. Another is not the one who mislaid my keys. They are a person without qualities upon whom you place no blame and from whom you demand no magic. The burden of being good or evil is lifted from people and from objects, and everything breathes. So we gather the lesson in our hands like water and drink. When fear loosens, guidance becomes audible. When grasping yields to consent, the invisible handles the visible. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Not a thunderclap, a voice, not a map, a step. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path, a lamp for the next square of ground, not a searchlight to flood the whole neighborhood of cushions and drawers. Let guidance, not grasping, lead. Pause and consent, and then do the next simple thing given you, or do nothing with praise. Watch how forms report back, found without searching, replaced without effort, need dissolved without loss, and give thanks, not with a sigh of relief alone, but with that quiet, grateful confidence that knows now by experience that the presence which is invisible to sense governs the visible when you let it, and so it is. Now take the scene that tightens the breath more than a missing coin or a crooked digit, the meeting you have not wanted. The calendar square has a red ring around it. The subject line has been blunt enough. Budget cuts, performance, the account that went sideways, the conversation at home that has circled for months without landing money, schedules, parenting, boundary, apology. Positions are set like furniture that has not moved in years. You have rehearsed your case on the drive, under the shower, in the grocery aisle, and every path ends in the same thicket. I will say this, they will say that, and then I will prove. Hear the mind's drum, it quickens, and with it the small lawyer inside unrolls its papers. Beloved, this is the very threshold at which the presence would teach us a new government. Stop short before you cross that threshold. In the hallway outside the conference room, in the elevator alone for 20 seconds, in the driveway before you turn the knob, pause, 3 soft breaths. Here I am, not the one who must win, not the one who must defend, not the one who must fix. Be still and know that I am God. I can of mine own self do nothing. Take that literally now. I cannot, by cleverness or by stored-up sentences, bring forth the right outcome. Take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour. Do you see what mercy there is in that? You are relieved of the burden of carrying your own weather into this room. Lay down every rehearsed paragraph as you would set down a heavy bag and feel the hand open by itself. Then revalue the visible. An agenda is neither good nor evil. A spreadsheet is neither good nor evil. An email trail is neither good nor evil. They are symbols, and they will serve the presence or they will serve fear according to what governs you. In the same instant, revalue the people. This is not a difficult boss, not a stubborn partner, not a brittle sibling, neither good nor evil, person without qualities. Henceforth know we no man after the flesh. Withdraw your old titles, the scrapbook of incidents you have kept, the adjectives you have worn thin with use. Do not enthrone charm as virtue, nor carve rudeness into stone. Let identity be holy ground. This one is the life of God appearing as this one. God is no respecter of persons. You need not prefer an ally, nor brace against an adversary. Remove the mask silently, not with performance or announcement, and feel the air clear in your own chest. Neither do I condemn thee, not a sentence to fling, but a climate to bring. Now consent. Give the meeting away upward, inward, before it begins. Presence, go before us. Prepare minds and hearts. If words are needed, give them. If silence is needed, keep me. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Not my will, not my picture of how fairness must look, not my sequence of points, but thine. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. Let that not be poetry, but a practiced reliance. Angels, the functions of awakened consciousness, go before us into chairs and across tables to do what we cannot. You are not abdicating responsibility. You are relocating government. You are not being passive. You are being permeable. Enter the room, then, not as a personality with a case, but as an atmosphere. Feel what that means in the body, shoulders unarmed, face without performance, pace unhurried. Sit down as one who is not there to triumph or to be defeated, but to bear witness to a different center. Peace be to this house, you say inwardly, because the Master taught us to bring peace first, not as a reward, but as a cause. Blessed are the peacemakers, not the peace pleaders, not the avoiders of truth, but those who carry an atmosphere in which truth can speak for itself. A soft answer does not turn away wrath because it is soft. It turns away wrath because it is not a mask meeting a mask. It is the presence recognizing itself. During the talk, bobs may fly, habits may play, their old films, and the first draft of your old speech may leap to its feet inside you. Pause again inside the pause. Neither good nor evil. This sentence is neither good nor evil. This facial expression is neither good nor evil. Judge not according to the appearance. If you are given a word, let it come on the breath that found you in the hallway. If you are given no word, do not fear silence. It is sometimes the only language fear can hear. It shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak, and as often it shall be given you not to speak. Either way, you have refused to become a combatant. You have chosen to be an atmosphere. You are not trying to change minds. You are consenting to a mind that knows. Hold that inner stance and do not look for signs too soon. We are not bargaining for outcomes. We are practicing incarnation. Let the word become flesh as a tone, as an unhurried pace, as eyes that behold a person without qualities across a table full of papers. The rest is not in your hand. That is not helplessness, that is worship. Father, glorify thy name in this, and having prayed it, sit simply in it, and we shall see when it is time to see what a room becomes, when one presence refuses to be a personality and becomes instead a place where God can be God. And then, as if someone opened a window in a stuffy room, you discover the weather has changed without a speech about weather. The temperature of voices drops a degree. The eyes that were fixed hard on positions lift and see faces again. A new option, which no one had on their list, appears in the center of the table as natural as a cup of water. We could extend 30 days and revisit. Or, what if we split this into two phases? No one performs cleverness. No one brandishes a precedent. A simple delay arrives like a courtesy from time itself, or a sentence lands in the room that is not yours or theirs so much as it is ours. I am sorry for the tone I took last week, and because no mask has been made to harden, the apology is not a humiliation. It is a release. He maketh the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still. You can feel how true that is when the atmosphere is not combative but consenting. When words are given, they are few and they are heard. Not lectures, not footnotes, just the exact phrases that belong to this hour. It sounds as if this deadline is too tight. What time would be honest? I hear the fear under that. Thank you for naming it. I may have hurried past your concern. Forgive me. How do such words come? It shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. And sometimes the hour asks for no words at all. A silence opens and does the labor of 3 memoranda. In that silence, someone across from you who is rehearsing a counterstrike remembers their own center and sets down a weapon. Or the spreadsheet, which looked like a wall, becomes a set of movable pieces because someone, unprovoked, says, I forgot there's a contingency fund, and the pain of the cut dissolves into a just shift. The child who has braced against correction softens when you do not press and says, can we start over? You did not pull these strings. You were a quiet field in which sane grass could grow, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Notice the proportion. You speak less and are understood more. You insist less and are met more. You do not claim inches, you witness order. You are not advocating for yourself alone. You are consenting to a mind that includes everyone present. In that consent, tempers cool without loss of dignity. No winner's grin appears, no loser's slump. A solution forms that is just enough to bless all parties, and you can tell because there is ease in the shoulders on both sides, and no one feels the need to spike a ball. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Forms, the terms, the dates, the budget lines prove malleable when presence is the governor, because, remember, they are neither good nor evil. They will serve the invisible or they will serve fear. Here they are serving the invisible. If you look for causation, look where the Master taught us to look. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. That is not a pretty saying. It is a report from inside such a meeting. You did not, by preloaded phrases, bend a room. You did not, by superior reason, tame a temper. You made a place within yourself where God could be God, and the government that is always present but often uninvited entered chairs and mouths and schedules to make the crooked places straight. When a gracious delay appears, it is grace, not your cleverness. When an apology rises, it is the Christ in a brother turning toward itself. When a new option surfaces, it is wisdom without pedigree, and you accept it without parading it. This is the Word becoming flesh, as an amended timeline, as a handshake that is not a truce but a trust, as a child's forehead unlined, as colleagues who were adversaries walking to the elevator in an ordinary conversation about lunch, afterward walk out the way you came in quietly. Do not collect the incident as a trophy. Do not rehearse it as a tale of your deftness or their error finally corrected or your metaphysics proving its muscle. See thou tell no man, not because there is a rule against gratitude, but because we are guarding the well from which gratitude arose. Keep the practice, release the drama. Send the one email that tidies the corners and blesses the agreement. Make the one call that confirms without a flourish. Then turn again within with the simplest thanksgiving, Father, thou hast kept us. Rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven, written, that is, in the consciousness that turned first and stayed. Let that be the only story that grows a habit of pausing, consenting, and beholding, so that harmony keeps appearing without triumph or defeat, and dignity is preserved not as an achievement but as the natural dress of those who live under presence. And so it is. Now let the episodes become a way of life. What we have seen in a register, a living room, a meeting, must be received as a rule of being, not as a collection of happy exceptions. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Begin there at dawn, before the devices, before the lists. Sit down not long, not as an achievement, but as an orientation, and say within yourself, here I am. 3 soft breaths. Be still and know that I am God. Not a God who must be persuaded to enter your calendar, but the I that already constitutes your life. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Consent now. Father, glorify thy name in this day. I can of mine own self do nothing. Let thy presence go before me into emails and errands, into doorways and deadlines, making the crooked places straight. Do not attempt to populate the prayer with outcomes. Simply remember who governs here and yield. Then let the day be strung with beads of the same silence micropauses, so small that no one sees them, and yet the whole hour is changed by them. Before you answer a text, pause. Before you press send, pause. Before you pick up the phone, pause. Before you say yes or no, pause. 3 breaths becomes a reflex, like reaching for the knob, only now your hand reaches first for the presence. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. You will be astonished how many words fall away that were only there to defend a mask, and how many words appear that no preparation could have supplied before a purchase, online or in a shop pause. A cart is neither good nor evil. A sail is neither good nor evil. Take no thought for your life does not mean neglect. It means refuse the government of fear. In the pause, ask, is this given? If the inner nod comes, proceed in peace. If it does not, close the tab and let sufficiency reveal itself by another route. Make the grocery line your small sanctuary. While the scanner sings and the child in the next cart rubs tired eyes, bless without judging, neither good nor evil. This price is neither good nor evil. This delay is neither good nor evil. This clerk is not a slow one or a cheerful one. This is a person without qualities, the life of God appearing as this one. Henceforth know we no man after the flesh. Let your eyes rest upon each face and silently say, peace be to this house. Watch the shoulders drop 3 carts away. Watch the courtesy grow of itself. The aisle is governed now not by hurry, but by an invisible love you have consented to carry. Try this as an experiment rather than a vow. For 7 days, practice pause first. Morning, 5 minutes of silence and consent. Day, 3 breath checks before emails, calls, purchases, and answers. Evening, jot down 2 things, what happened and what happened in you. A conflict softened, a decision simplified, a want clarified or dismissed, a small provision arriving unannounced. More telling still, an inner steadiness where flurry used to live. Pray without ceasing, not as a marathon of words, but as a rhythm of remembrance. At the end of the week, read the notes and see whether the government of the invisible has not begun to appear in visible ways, and extend the ethic where it is most needed. Do not reserve non-judgment for the easy faces. Spend much more of it on the ones who resist you and the ones you resist. If ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Bless them that have not earned it from you. Behold Christ where you least expect to find him, in the loud colleague, in the terse email, in the neighbor who parks where you think no car should ever be. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Righteous judgment sees identity first and waits for forms to come into line. You will notice that your atmosphere becomes a permission for others. As you withdraw praise and blame the twin tyrants from yourself and from your neighbor, they feel it. They are not being judged in this room, and therefore they are set free in their own identity. Children, stop acting the part you wrote for them. A spouse lays down a defense that had hardened for years. A team relaxes into sanity. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. This is not charisma, it is climate. You are not performing virtue, you are carrying government. Make this pausing first your default rhythm, and watch fruitage become ordinary, not fireworks, but daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread, and recognize the bread when it appears as an eased schedule, an honest no, a timely yes, a hand steady on a doorknob. The word becomes flesh in this very cadence. Breathe, behold, consent, and the streets you walk, the stores you enter, the tables where you sit, will speak back to you in the language of harmony. And so it is. Beloved, what have we witnessed but the simplest proofs that the invisible governs the visible when we let it? At a register where digits and tempers might have paired off for a quarrel, peace went first, and the numbers, like polite guests, took their right seats. A sum that looked wrong to human sense found its own rightness without a raised voice, and no one was made a culprit. In a room at home, where the little ache of a mislaid thing was about to swell into a storm, we turned not to drawers and cushions, but within, and the hand that had fluttered became quiet, found without searching, or replaced without strain, or the want itself dissolved as if it had never been the measure of our day. And in the room where the wills of men and women often test their edge, words were given in the hour, or silence was given, and harmony appeared without a winner or a loser. The same thread runs through all three. The presence went before you and made the crooked places straight. What is constant? This. We turn within first. We withdraw judgment from the forms and from the faces, neither good nor evil. This price, this delay, this error on a screen, neither good nor evil. This colleague, this clerk, this child person, without qualities. Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is, God. We remember identity at the center, and we take our hand off the scales. And then we consent. I can of mine own self do nothing. Take no thought how or what ye shall speak. It shall be given you in that same hour. This is not passivity. This is government relocated where it belongs. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Hear the promise, not as poetry, but as a practical covenant. As you live this way, life rearranges around the presence in you. Not that it starts obeying your preferences, but that the good which is invisible finds its natural expression as timely words, as just arrangements, as provision that comes without performance. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And the kingdom, when it comes, does not arrive with trumpets at your door. It appears as an eased countenance, as a timeline that fits truth, as a coin that rolls out from under the baseboard precisely when you have stopped worshiping coins. All things work together for good to them that love God. And loving God is this turning first, beholding rightly, consenting wholly. Try it now in one small place. Before you leave this room, choose one threshold. The next email you will answer. The next doorway you will enter. The next hand you will take at your table. Pause 3 soft breaths. Here I am. Be still and know that I am God. Withdraw your adjectives. Give the scene back to the source. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Ask for nothing but the government of peace. Then move with whatever is given you, a phrase, a look, a silence. Watch not for a result to defend your practice, but for peace to precede the result. Let peace be the sign that government has entered the room. When peace leads, the forms follow of themselves. And walk out into your own street now with your feet on the ground and your heart in the atmosphere of meditation. Sweep a porch, pay a bill, carry a bag, bless a face. The word must become flesh, or it remains an idea unproved. Let it be flesh on your street, in your store, at your table. The word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and he still would through you, as you, if you will, keep to this simple fidelity. Pause, consent, behold. Do not advertise it. Do not argue for it. Simply live it. And the neighborhood will know, not by your speech, but by the climate that follows you down the block. Lo, I am with you always. Peace be to this house and to the houses you will enter. Thank you, Father, for thy unspectacular faithfulness. The blessing is upon you, not as a decoration, but as your life, and so it is.